Good morning, Deify here, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, where as best I can remember we had just finished having lunch with Hanako after Lilly had left, so we had our pleasant time. Don't remember what exactly happened there. I think we just kind of talked, and then I said I needed to head to the library, and I guess that's where we are now, right? Wow, I should really try and record more consistently, especially now that my backlog's only like 4 days. Ooh, that's a little worrisome. I slide my books down the return chute and they crash into the cart with a pleasant thud. I would not call that a pleasant sound in the slightest, nor would I call that a pleasant thud. Yuko, however, doesn't seem as impressed as I. Hisao, you scared me. Sorry, I thought you would be used to that by now. Or is the literacy level here so low that nobody borrows any books? Ooh, the sassy pants has come out. Huh? No, I think everyone here can read fine. Yeah. Never mind. There are some battles that you can never win. Trying to explain jokes is one of them. My dad taught me that the hard way. Say, Yuko, have you seen Hanako about? She left class early, but she wasn't in her usual hiding place. I think I saw her sneak in before lunch. Oh, but I'm not supposed to tell anyone that. Okay, so maybe I'm just totally wrong about what we were doing. Oof, who knows? I just told you that I saw her leave. No need to stress out. Oh, of course, she's probably in the back. Thanks. Get any new books in recently? No, sorry. I'll let you know when we do, though. Okay, can we just... Yuko? Kenji. Two people I could do without talking to for the rest of this game. If there's one thing I know about librarians, part-time or otherwise, it's that they appreciate people who take a genuine interest in their work. I walk the now familiar path to Hanako's reading nook, picking out a few titles along the way. Sometimes I find it hard to discover a book that will interest me among the shelves. An author's name and a two-word title don't mean much in a sea of similar words. Feel that there? Any young adult books are like the worst, and they're all like Crimson Dark. You're like, ooh, wow, that tells me nothing. Cool. Going through the young adult book section, I saw like this one. I can't remember what it was. I pulled it out because it was a purple cover, and that just caught my eye. And it sounded like the most bland thing in the world. Like, I know the enemy was called like The Darkness, and that was like capitalized, and I was like, okay. For that reason, I sometimes reread books that I read in the past. Better to bet on the favorite than a new runner. An unfamiliar title from a familiar author peeks out among the spines of its neighbors, so I remove it from the shelf. At least I'm not going over old material. As expected, Hanako sits on her beanbag, buried deep in a copy of Dance Dance Dance, or Dance Dance Revolution, perhaps. Oh man, imagine you walk into the library and someone's buried in Dance Dance Revolution, you're just watching them like flail their feet about, and you're just like, you should not be here. Hi, Hanako. How's it going? Fight back the urge to ask why she left class early. If Lily's suspicions were right, then asking her about that could have the opposite effect. Best to leave it for the time being. Sometimes the best way to get an answer from someone is to never ask the question. Hello, Hisao. I'm fine. Something seems off, and after a couple of seconds I realize what it is. Hanako's smiling. Ooh, cut that out. It's weirding me out, okay? She looks as if she's pleased to see me. It's a nice change from the usual instinctively frightened reaction, and something I hope I can see more of as we get to know each other better. Good to hear. How's that book? I've heard it's a trip. It's good, I think. I've only just started, so I don't really know. Fair enough. Let me know how it goes. I might borrow it once you're done. You are in a library. I guess maybe you're not talking about borrowing it from her, but... Sure. There's a good 15 minutes left in lunch. Not enough to really get into a book, but too much to stand around doing nothing. And Hanako's already returned to her reading, so I doubt I'll get much conversation from her. Oh well, I'd better make myself comfortable. I slouch into a beanbag and crack open my book. There we go. The familiar style of the author leaps out at me from the very first line. As the sentences turn into paragraphs, I start to relax a little. But no matter how I try, I can't seem to get myself into the atmosphere of the book. This is partly due to the lack of time, but the more distracting factor is Hanako. Every 10 or so seconds, she peers over the top of her book, but when our eyes meet, she quickly ducks behind the covers. I guess she did want to talk about something after all. "What's up? You look like a prairie dog on lookout." It's nothing." "I've told you before, nothing means something when you say it like that." Hanako squirms a little in her beanbag, hoping that by changing her position she'll find the words she's looking for. Oh good, we're here now. Oh no. I was in an accident." "Accident? Just now? Are you alright?" Hanako shakes her head, her hair flowing around her shoulders in wisps of amethyst on a background of pale and dark flesh. Alright, we're going into fanfiction mode here. "No, when I was younger." Realization crashes into me like a semi. When I was... It's alright, Hanako. You don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. Again, she shakes her head. "No, I have to tell you." God, I can't do it. Oh, the drawings. "When I was young, I was in a fire. My house burned down and I nearly didn't make it. After that, I was alone." Hanako's eyes glisten in the dim light of the library, and I reach out to grasp her hand. "It's okay, Hanako. You don't have to keep going." But I have to." "Why? What brought this on?" "Last night Lilly told me about your heart, and I didn't think it was fair." "Fair?" "That I knew about you, you didn't know about me." I squeeze Hanako's hand a little. "Don't be silly, but yes, I have a heart condition." I lean a little closer to Hanako. "What I didn't tell Lilly is that I had my first attack when a girl confessed to me, so back up, Hanako. You might give me another one." I smile a little to break the tension. "Really?" "Really. I haven't heard from her for a while, though, so I guess it's all over." I know it's all over. There's no other way to interpret what happened last time. Last time I saw her. In some ways, not having heard from her again has helped me move on from that period of my life. So now, we both know a little more about each other. You don't have to talk about things if you don't want to. In fact, I feel a little bad even thinking about that whole incident. I can almost smell the hospital's disinfectant burning the back of my sinuses again. I imagine Hanako is going through the same thing right now. When I was in the hospital, I went to the burn ward once, and only once. I was bored, so I went for a walk through all of the wards. I went through oncology, and thought I could take it. But when I got to the burn ward, I turned around and went back to my bed. To think that Hanako would have spent months in a place like that, smelling nothing but corrupted skin, strong disinfectant, and sterilized air. The really bad cases were kept in isolated pods that no foreign objects could enter. That would have meant no reading. I would have gone insane if I didn't have my books in the hospital. And she said she was alone. Did her parents die? I'll have to ask Lilly about it. Or you could not. You know, she's freaking out about this because Lilly went around your back, so maybe don't go around Hanako's back. You know, I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there. I'm not the main character, though. Maybe sometimes I make smart decisions. Maybe. I can imagine myself saying something dumb unintentionally. Oh, wait, maybe I am the main character. Shoot. Thank you, Hisao. I haven't told many people about this. To be honest, I haven't told many people about my circumstances either. Then I won't tell anyone either. Deal. I change my grip on Hanako's hand into a handshake as the warning bells chime through the window. Well then, we'd better head back to class then, eh? Oh, that's right. She left when we started group work, I think? I think that's what it was. Sure. Alright, we're getting her to go back to class. Oh no, we're moving on into the next chapter. Oh, we just learned, so we're going on. Oh, I don't know if I can handle much more. Alright. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. The tint of the room slowly changes from the shine of the afternoon to the orange of dusk. A clock lazily ticks away the seconds, counting in the background, on the verge of hearing. But no matter how long I wait, the outcome cannot be changed. The diminutive playing piece makes a small click against the board. Like a wound spring, Hanako makes her move only moments after mine. It's embarrassing. In comparison to my 5-minute moves, she seems to know exactly what she wants to do. Mate. Again, what does that make this? 3-2? Stalemates don't count. Damn, you're getting better at this every day. That, or she's been holding back. I'd never have thought it when I first met her, but she really has a knack for this game. Chess seems to have become a popular pastime for the two of us. Hiding away in the tea room, playing a game or two after classes. From here, the students outside can just barely be heard milling about. The everyday noises from below remind me a little of my life before Yamaku, though I'm by now well aware that it's a life I'll never get back to. Fancy another game? I have to finish my homework. Oh, well, I'll see you tomorrow then. But what about this? Hanako points to the tea set surrounding the mostly empty chessboard. Don't worry about that. I've got it. Oh. Okay. See you. Later. Hanako departs as I start cleaning up the area. The occasional whistles and cheers from the sporting clubs outside become less frequent, eventually approaching silence. A part of me still wants to be in some kind of team. Since I played soccer and other sports before my accident, I guess it's only normal to feel nostalgic about what I can't do anymore. But I have other reasons than that for my coming here so often, and I don't feel so bad about losing that part of myself because of them. Lilly is a good friend by now, but it's the small exchanges I have with Hanako that feel especially dear. The small victories I feel every day as I see more of what she's like under her self-imposed shell. That's why I come here most of all. As I'm putting away cups and saucers, I hear talking outside the door. Pausing for a moment to listen, I can make out that it's Hanako and Lilly, and decide to go outside to investigate. Are you quite sure? I'm sure. Ah, Hisao. Hanako turns to see me with a look of mild surprise as she notices my approach. Lilly must have caught her just as she was about to leave. Oh my, Hisao is here as well? Afternoon, Lilly. What's up? I was hoping, now that I've finished with my class representative duties for the day, that I might have the two of you accompany me for tea at the Shanghai. Ooh. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves outside of the school for a change. I'd be up for it. I think Hanako had work to do, though. It's not all that much. Wonderful. It seems that we're decided then. Alright, skipping out on homework, the best part of school. Oh, until you go to class and then you realize you've made a mistake. Ooh. It's fine, it's fine. I cast my eyes across the cafe as the three of us step in. As usual, there are only a handful of people around at most, and the noise level is a quiet background hum. The hold Lilly has on Hanako's arm remains just as it has been for the entire slow walk down the hill to the local town, though it's hard to say for which reason, for Lilly's guidance, or for Hanako's reassurance. For a moment, Lilly removes her arm from Hanako's to retract her cane as Yuko quickly skitters over to where we stand, but soon replaces it right back where it had been. Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order? She gives a deep bow, her well-delivered and professional introduction, putting her in a good mood. It's a nice change from the norm for Yuko. Just tea, please. Hanako? Hisao? I'll have a slice of pie and a coffee. Just tea, please. Coming right up. Please take any seat you wish, and I'll be back shortly. Yuko gives a smile and a nod before shuffling to the counter, and we make our way to some empty seats by the window in quick measure. Alright, very good. We get more fireworks today? That'd be super nice. We slip into our seats. The girls on one side with Lilly's cane propped up beside them, and I on the other. I realize that Hanako is not doing something that she so often does. Rather than keeping her eyes pinned to the ground and hiding behind her blind escort, busily trying to convince herself that the world around them doesn't exist, she's merely keeping her eyes low and helping Lilly around. Are you okay, Lilly? You look tired. She lowers her head a little, looking somewhat embarrassed that she let it show. Class representative work can be very tiring, considering that it often means dealing with the student council. I believe it. Very tiring indeed. How do the other representatives go? Better than I, but not by much. Shizune is a harsh taskmaster. Yeah, I'm a taskmaster. Taskmaster, no matter whom she deals with. Doesn't sound like you particularly relish the job. Why do you do it in the first place if it's that bad? Being a class representative is enjoyable, and I can deal with the responsibility well enough. It's just that the people involved are sometimes... She trails off, cutting her words at a rather opportune spot. It's hard to imagine Lilly cursing, but I imagine that if anyone could make her do so, it would be Shizune. Hanako looks to be withering a bit in the light of such conflict, but before I can steer the topic away a little, she stands up. Hanako? I'll be back in a bit. With that, she leaves for the restrooms. Suppose that's one way to deal with the situation, if that was indeed her motivation. Lilly, however, looks a little wounded. Don't worry about it. I don't think it was you. But I think she's been getting stronger recently. You've seen it yourself, right? That would have been awry. Fortunately, Lilly doesn't look offended, and by now I really shouldn't be quite so scared of stepping on that landmine around her. Possibly. Sometimes I find it hard to tell, though. Silence reigns for a moment before 2 teacups, a pie, and a mug of steaming coffee appear in front of us. Just like magic! Whew! Oh, no, Yuko's here, darn. I notice that Yuko takes special care to place the teacup against the tip of Lilly's fingers, letting her know where it is. Here you go! Thanks, Yuko. Thank you. With a quick and silent bow, the bespectacled waitress takes her leave. Ah, that's right. I was meaning to ask you something, and now would be the right time to do so. I'm all ears. Hanako's birthday is coming up, and I was hoping that you might accompany me for present shopping in the city this weekend. Hanako's birthday is soon. I suppose it would be a nice chance to cheer her up a bit. Like Yuko, she always seems to be teetering on the edge of either panic or depression, and I've never seen her enjoy herself much outside of our chess games. All that aside, learning the layout of the city better with a friend keeping me company sounds like a good way to spend a weekend. Sure, I'd be happy to. Have you got any plans for what to do for her birthday? A party or anything? Hanako being Hanako, perhaps a low-key affair would be... Lilly suddenly cuts herself short, leaving me to wonder why as she brings her teacup to her lips and begins to sip. Wonder if she's coming back. There we go! After a few seconds, I notice Hanako walking up to us over her shoulder. Lilly's hearing must be very good indeed if it was the sound of the restroom door opening that tipped her off. Hanako takes her seat once again, and wastes no time in drinking her tea. Soon, the 3 of us are quietly eating and drinking, as the sun sets. It's a nice way to spend the remainder of the day's light, and it makes me appreciate the quiet and serene surroundings of Yamaku. I think I'm really beginning to like life here, as isolated as it may be. I finish off the last of my coffee, and rest the mug on the table while the girls talk between themselves. The coffee here is a little bitter for my tastes, but still quite good. Better than what I can make for myself, in any case. The girls' discussion is mainly focused on their respective reading preferences, which does give me a little curiosity about a related topic. Hey, Hanako, I was just wondering, aside from chess and reading, do you have any hobbies or things you like doing? She's completely stopped in her tracks, looking quite surprised that anyone would be interested in such a question about her. It takes her a little time to formulate a response. I guess I like singing a little. I am okay with computers as well, but I don't use them all that much. Singing's not exactly something I expected to hear. Really? Whenever I hear a singer, I expect it. Aha! It's a sound joke. Got him that time. It's hard to imagine her singing voice, given how soft-spoken she is. I'm also thinking of a singing voice like mine, which is Miranda Cosgrove from School of Rock. I feel like that would be the best way for Hanako to start singing. Everyone's just like, ooh, what is that coming from Hanako's tone? No! Lily, on the other hand, simply nods. She must already know all this, since she's been friends with Hanako for 1 year or so by now. What about you? Me? She hesitates before quickly flicking her head up and down. It's only logical that she'd want me to talk about my hobbies after she's told me hers, just like how she wanted to talk about her condition after she was told mine. Let me see, it's like poetry. Thanks, George Lucas. There's chess, obviously, but also... late night tea parties with girls, in pajamas. It's the only way I like it, really. Staring down at the cleavage of the blind girl who can't see me do so. Yeah, that's a good one. Wow, that might be about it, really. There was soccer as well, though I can't really do that anymore. Reading, which I picked up in the hospital. This is surprisingly hard. Lily and Hanako look a little put off by the direction this is taking. The more I think about it, the more I am too. It sounds as if you've picked up quite a few things since your accident. Lily's candor is coated with probably the most positive spin one could put on what I said. Hanako, however, is silent. If a situation becomes difficult, her reaction always seems to be withdrawing into silence, in order to prevent things from getting worse. That, or physically retreating. A soft ringing gives us pause. As Lily reaches into her pocket, it becomes obvious that the sound's coming from her phone. Sorry. It's okay. Lily gives a quick nod before shuffling out of her seat and taking the call a little distance away to avoid disturbing the both of us. Must be nice to be popular. Hanako smiles, but doesn't take up the hook for further discussion. Oh my gosh, you just falling asleep? Like, well, coffee was good. Alright then. I end up just sitting back and closing my eyes, relaxing as best I can. It's nice and peaceful here. I wonder what it'd be like to have grown up somewhere like this, rather than in the city. You come from the city? Looks like I found something she wants to talk about. Yeah, you could say I was a city kid through and through. It sounds like a lot's changed. It did. I'm still not quite sure what to make of it all, though. It's a bit of a... there's that word again, or that phrase. Bit of a culture shock in more ways than one. You must have gone through something like this when you first arrived at Yamaku, right? I'd imagine most new students would. Not really. Hanako gazes a little to the side, looking unwilling to go on. I tilt my head inquisitively, but a couple of seconds pass with no further answer. But can't we deal with that on Monday? The fallout has hardly settled from the last. I understand. I'll try to talk her down. You know what she's like when she gets locked onto an idea. Yes, thank you. I'll talk to you later then. Goodbye. Lily's conversation ends with the snap of her phone closing. She returns to our table, but doesn't take her seat. Need to go? Unfortunately, class representative work calls once again, literally. I can come with you. It's all right, Hanako. I'll just be going straight to the student council. There's no need to spoil a fine evening on my account. Besides, if you were to accompany me on my way back to school, who would keep our poor Hisao company? Okay. Who's going to keep our poor Lily company now, though? That's the real question. I can join you for tea again later tonight, if you'd like. I may well need it. We agree on that plan, and Lily says her farewells to the both of us. Sweet, there's one of my hobbies coming up again. Tea parties in girls' dorms when they're in their pajamas. Aw, yeah. Lily says her farewells to the both of us, taking her cane after Hanako passes it to her. Despite my offer to pay for Lily's share, she insists on giving us her portion of the bill, and gives her regards to Yuko as she takes her leave. And then, we're alone. It may be all well and good to leave Hanako and me alone to have some time together, but all it typically means is the two of us sitting near each other in silence for a while. I wonder what I must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone my own age acting this way around me makes me feel intensely self-aware, as if it's my fault that she's so troubled. She might get more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku, but then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel the same way I do now. And it's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing, but if she leaves, any efforts she might try would get thrown back at her by the people who can't deal with her scarring. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much of a dinner after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously, glad that I brought up the topic for her. I catch Yuko's gaze, and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. Bit late for coffee by now. Hanako? I'll have the same. With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter, where she busies herself finishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives us our food and drinks before moving to a customer who's called for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. It tastes nice, as does most of the food here. After having a few mouthfuls, I notice something's missing, namely the sound of Hanako eating. Looking back to her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patch of hair she keeps over the right side of her face still does its job in hiding it, almost entirely. It's not that. Ah, I was all ready to have your share too. You looked troubled. Is something wrong? I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who looks troubled, but on second thought, she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person. Quite the opposite. We're friends, right? Friends. From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks as though I've hit yet another landmine. This is another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barriers she puts up between herself and others, including me, and most likely even Lilly. It's a shame that... I think that we are? I'm a little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer. All the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see. Am I wrong? Sorry, No, it's just... hearing confirmation of that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said earlier, since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. I find myself chuckling a bit. It's surprising how much of a relief that was. I can feel my face smiling as I pick up my cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips. Ah, that's hot. That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first. Guess I'll wait then. The both of us share a little chuckle. Situation isn't really that funny, but for some reason, it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we were both a bit wound up about each other. I was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something wrong. It took her to remind me that I was as uneasy as well. But be that as it may, it still feels a little nice. A little nice to have someone thinking about me like that, in her own way. Alright, well we got a blinds transition, so I am going to leave this episode here. We just had a very pleasant dinner with Hanako. Lilly unfortunately had to leave, but hey, that just means we get to be alone now. Is that exciting? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, well, I am just going to go straight ahead and record another video, but for right now, I'm supposed to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time on Katawa Shoujo, goodbye.